All right, Shalom, family. Shalom. Welcome back to another edition of Law School. First and foremost, want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. All right. So this is Genesis chapter 37, man, and I got to pay homage to my forefather Joseph. All right. If you don't know why I got this on right now, then you by the end of the chapter, most high willing, you will know. But shout out to our forefather Joseph, man. Double honors to all the elders in this thing, the elect, all right? Everybody that's striving to keep the commandments in sincerity and in truth. All right. Shalom to you all. All right. So doing it a little earlier today. The effort to prepare for my day tomorrow. Had a long day at work today, but all praise to the Most High. We got to go to work today. So, without further ado, man, let's get into it. All right. So, we're reaching a very, very important point in history at this point. All right. Let me share the screen with y'all. This is a very pivotal point in history that we at right now, what we're about to read, right? This account uh this account that we about to read had a lot to do with our survival as a nation. All right. So very, very important information, very, very key point in history that we finna read, right? So let's get into it. It says Genesis 37, verse 1. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. Sorry, he was in the land where Isaac was a stranger. All right. Many of our brothers, our forefathers were pilgrims on the earth. Man, let me get that precept while I'm thinking about it. A lot of our forefathers were pilgrims, man, and it didn't mean that they weren't rich or didn't have anything. They had a lot, but they were pilgrims indeed, right? Let's go to first Hebrews 11, and I'm gonna start at verse 9. It says, by faith, just talking about Abraham, he sojourned in the land of promise as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. So these brothers slept in tents, man. Right? They slept in tents. They didn't, and it wasn't because they didn't know how to build a house. They knew how to build homes and houses and stuff like that, but they were from place to place. Right? Let's jump down. Verse 13. It says, these all died in faith. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them and embraced them. And you got to embrace these promises, man. You got to hold on to them the same way Jacob held on for that blessing. All right, when he was wrestling against that angel, you got to embrace the fact that I'm an Israelite from the tribe or whatever tribe you believe that your ancestors are from. You got to embrace the fact that the promises are for you, the same way your forefathers did. It says, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. When you confess something, you believe it, man. America's not my home. We just here, right? This ain't it. You understand? So we have to know that, right? Why? For they that say such things, when you confess and believe that this place that we in is not your home, when you say such things, you declare plainly that you seek a country, right? That we're looking for a country, which is that land that the Most High God gave to us, right? It's that land that the Most High gave us. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel. Ezekiel. And then I'm going to get on with the lesson, Most High willing. But I want to get this through the Spirit. All right. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 6. It says, in the day that I lifted up my hand unto them to bring them forth of the land of Egypt, into a land that I had espied for them, flowing with milk and honey. It says, which is the glory of all lands. Man, we got the best land. So we can't settle for this over here. You know, a job and rent and bills and mortgage. This ain't it, man. All right. So all praises to the Most High. Let's go back. So Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. Canaan is, let's get a visual, right? Canaan would become Israel. Land of Canaan. Yeah. Right. So let's let's pull up. Does this one got what I want? Cool. Karnish Barnea, Mesopotamia. Let me click on this one. Let's see. Trying to show y'all a little bit. Canaan would be like up in here. I guess it's Abraham's migration. He went from Babylon over here. It's not saying Canaan, but Canaan would be up in here. This is the land that would become Israel. All right, chiefly like right up in here. All right, so let's go back. I wish I had a better map, but it'll be all right. All right, so that's what Jacob was. It says, these are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren. And the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. All right, so they got an evil report going on. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children. Would just say he has a favorite. It's all right to have favorites, man. It's okay. That's a normal thing. All right. The Most High got favorites. He has a favorite plant, a favorite type of cattle. All right. He has favorites too. He has a favorite people, which is Israel. So it says Joseph loved Israel, Jacob loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. That's why I got the coat on, man, because of Joseph. All right. Told you I was gonna know by the end of the chapter. It saying when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. Right? So they hated their brother Joseph because he was showed some type of favoritism by his father. Right? It says, and Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. Right? Right? It says, and he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, I was binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. So they interpreted that dream right away. They peeped what he was saying. What you trying to say? We gonna serve you? Right? Verse 9, it says, and he dreamed yet another dream and told it his brethren and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Right? So the sun and the moon and the stars. is now making obeisance to him. What's that mean? It says, and he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee, to the earth? Jacob could interpret dreams too, right? So the sun would be Jacob, the moon would be the mother, and the 11 stars would be the children of Israel, right? So that's a precept for your 11 stars when you read the book of Revelation. All right, when they see, let me see. Let's go to it. No, the book of Revelation is mysterious, right? Revelation 12 and 1. It says, and there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. So the stars would be the nation of Israel. All right, so let's go back. Let's go back. All right, so that's your precept for the stars being Israel. So his father interpreted that dream right away. It says, and his brethren envied him, but his father observed the same. But his father rebuked him, but he also understood, like maybe the Most High telling him something, right? The Most High sometimes will give you stuff with, dreams, right? Let's get this in Job. Job, I think it's 10. Is it 33? Okay, yep. Job 33 and verse 14. Blow that up. So it said, for God speaketh once, yea, twice, yet man perceiveth it not. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in the slumberings upon the bed. Right? Then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction, that he may withdraw man from his purpose and hide pride from man. Right? So the Most High will sometimes speak to you in a dream. Right? Not all dreams mean something though. Right? Let's go to the book of Sirach. Sirach chapter 34 and verse 7. They say, for dreams have deceived many, and they have failed that put their trust in them. Right. So sometimes you just having a dream, right? Sometimes your dream don't mean nothing. Right. Let's get some more on that. Verse 2, it says, whoso regardeth dreams is like him that catcheth at a shadow and followeth after the wind. Sometimes you Negroes dream about some lottery numbers and you go playing them numbers all month and you don't win. That's what this is talking about. Sometimes your dream don't mean nothing, right? The vision of dreams is the resemblance of one thing to another, even as the likeness of a face to a face. A lot of times your dreams dealing with your subconscious, right? So not always are dreams meaningful, but sometimes the Most High is talking to you through a dream. All right. I would tell you about the dream I had the other night, but I ain't gonna do it. Let's keep going. Genesis 37, verse 12 says, and his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. Remember, Jacob bought that land in Shechem. Y'all probably forgot. Jacob bought that land in Shechem. They was chilling there for probably about 30 years. Then the Lord was like, hey, what's up with that vow that you made to me? He had to go back. His father died. Isaac died. And now that's why they're in Canaan, right? So his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. So they going a little bit of a ways. Let me see if I can show that on the map. Okay, here goes Shechem right here. So, man, it's weird that they don't have Canaan pointed out, right? I want to say Canaan about like right up in here though. It's right up in here. So Shechem, you see Shechem right there. So that's where they went. It wasn't no little ways to go. All right. Was not a little ways to go. Let's go back. So it say, verse 13, and Israel said unto Joseph, do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, here am I. All right. And he said to him, go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. So let's go back to our map. Hebron is right here, and Shechem is right there. So let me see. I'm trying to see how many miles that is. That's probably about 100 miles, roughly. That's about 100 miles away. So that wasn't no little ways, right? Let's go back. It say, and a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field, and the man asked him, saying, what seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, they are departed hence. For I heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So let's go back. Is Dothan up here? Nope. I don't see Dothan. I don't see Dothan. Let's go back. They said they finna go to Dothan. Verse 18, and when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. So his brother, this lets you know what that envy. First it said they envied him, right? Verse 11 said, and his brethren envied him. It went from envy to what? Trying to kill him. Right? That's why a lot of people deal with that envy, man. You want to get that up out your spirit, right? Nothing good ever comes from that. It's gonna lead to murder. It's gonna lead to it. Right? You want to get that up out your system, man. As soon as you peep that you have it. Right? So let's keep going. You see, that's what it led to. From envy to they trying to kill him. Verse 19, and they said one to another, behold, this dreamer coming. So they making fun of their little brother. Come now, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, some evil beasts have devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dream. So they trying to interfere with what is prophecy, right? What is prophecy to come to pass? They calling themselves trying to interfere with it, right? Disappoint the enterprise, if you will. So they're like, we're going to kill him and we're going to throw him in a pit. We'll say some animal ate him, and then we'll see about his dreams. Verse 21, and Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands and said, let us not kill him. So Reuben stopped it. The big brother stopped it. Now, Reuben messed up last 2 chapters ago, and he slept with his father's wife, but he did something good right here. Right? He the oldest brother. He taught some sense into his younger brothers and said, man, we not going to kill him. Verse 22, and Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. So Reuben basically saying, look, man, we ain't going to kill him. We ain't going to hurt him. We're going to throw him in this pit. And then his plan was to, when his brothers walked off a distance, he was going to go get his little brother Joseph out of the pit and take him home to his dad, right? Shout out to some so-called Seminoles, man. Reuben. It say, and it came to pass when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat. They took the drip off his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. So he fell into like a well. You understand? It was no water in it. So he hit that ground pretty hard. right? Let's see. Let's just see for edification's sake. I said how long, how deep, how deep is a water well? It can be 10 feet to 1,000 feet, right? Anywhere from 10 feet to 1,000 feet. Hey, you fall 10 feet, that's gonna hurt, man. That's gonna hurt, right? So it wasn't no water in this one. He just hit the ground. Boom. It says, and they was hating on that coat, man. I think that's really what it was. They didn't like the coat. They wanted a coat like that. You gotta understand it was not an easy feat to have a garment with colors in it. They didn't have like, you just go get the thread already. You had to make the colors, you know what I'm saying? For with you can make red out of a certain worm. There was a certain worm, a Kermes worm, I want to say, that you could get red from. But he had on a coat of many colors. So this coat, it stood out in that time that he was in, right? Uh Verse 25, it says, and they sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. So they sitting down having lunch after they done threw their brother in this pit, and they see some Ishmaelites. They can smell them coming, right? And Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him. For he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. So they're like, man, we ain't gonna hurt him, but we might as well make some money off the little nigga. You know what I'm saying? He our brother. We'll sell him to the Ishmaelites. Then they were passed by Midianite merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit. It says, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. So the Midianites beat the Israelites to the punch. They sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit. And he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not, and whither shall I go? So when you're 17 years old, you're still a child, right? Just a little side note. He said, the child is not. It says, verse 31, and they took Joseph's coat and killed a kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father and said, this have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. So they being shiesty, boy. Shiesty. They done dipped the coat in some blood from a goat. And now they like, is this Joseph's coat? You know that damn Joseph coat. And Jacob rent his clothes and put sackcloth upon his loins and mourned for his son many days. Jacob under the impression that his son is dead, man. So you can only imagine how he must have felt at this point, right? So Salaki. So let's keep going. Verse 35. It says, and all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. All right, so that's Joseph right now, man. He got sold into Egypt for 20 pieces of silver. Jacob is distraught, believing that his youngest son is dead, right? Or is Joseph the youngest? I want to say no, Joseph's not the youngest. Benjamin the youngest, but he think Joseph is dead. His favorite child. He think he's dead. All right, so man, the Bible is like a movie, man. We'll have to pick up most high willing. I might wear this coat the whole time we weren't reading about Joseph. I think I might do that. We'll pick up next time we get back on here, man, in chapter 38, most high willing, and we'll see what's going on with Joseph, man. It's a lot of things to glean from this story. Matter of fact, we're gonna read a little bit about Judah and Tamar in 38. Then we'll pick back up with Joseph. So I'll put the coat back on in chapter 39, because 38 is about Judah and Tamar. All right, so all praises and honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai's brother Nahshon, New Wine Congregation of Israel.